What? A single puppy outperformed on all my tests? There's 3 tests that I like to put my pups through to decide whether or not they're going to be hunting and working dogs or whether they're going to be active companion dogs. There are a lot of hunting dogs that do not hunt. Let's be clear that what I'm doing is extremely important to hunters. Most everything that we all hear about hunting dogs is fabricated. I'm trying to say, for the men and women that actually want to go hunting with a dog, these 3 tests to evaluate a dog's performance are going to be very, very important, yielding to the right prospect for you to start with. These 3 tests I consider entry-level evaluations for 5 task areas. 1, we need dogs that can track. 2, we need dogs that can retrieve. 3, we need dogs that can tree. 4, we need dogs that can bay, wild hogs. 5, we need dogs that can work cattle. This is not an outlandish request, by the way. I find that dogs that do good in one area tend to do good in other areas. These are my 3 fundamental basic evaluations that I want to put a puppy through. The first test I like to do is a retrieving test. I want to find out if that puppy has drive. I want to find if that puppy has stability. I want to find out if that puppy is comfortable carrying stuff in its mouth and will have that pride of ownership that we need out of a hunting dog, which is basically, I got it, I killed it, we did good, we're winning, and we're bringing it home. The other thing that retrieving evaluates is eagerness to please. Some of that can be trained, but first of all, I need a dog that will chase after an object, that will put it in its mouth. It can't be a super spooky dog that's not comfortable picking stuff up. That won't work for retrieving, obviously. And I want them to bring that item back to me, ideally. Now, we get a lot of young male pups and some female pups that just have no interest in bringing it back to the person, so I trick them a little bit and then reward them. But regardless, ideally, the bringing back something to you is a measure of eagerness to please. Test number 2, tracking. If we want a dog to track, I want to see that dog using its olfactory senses. I want to see it using ground scent, and I want to see it using air scent, and I want to see it moving out away from me, not coming back to me for help, being comfortable and confident enough to move away from me, to follow a scent line, and to go to bait or whatever you want to call it. A lot of times I'll use an organ drag, very common with puppies, so heart, liver, pancreas, kidney, any kind of an organ that has a pretty pungent scent. Drag it through some brush, into the wind. You're not trying to make it hard. You want to judge this puppy's confidence to catch wind of something. You want it to use the ground scent and the air scent, and you want to move along that track and stick with it. Puppies that get bored halfway through, but they've smelled that, that's concerning to me. That's okay. Great companion dogs. They're not going to be over the top for people to manage, in a city or a home type environment. However, for a hunting dog, I want those dogs that smelled that, and I'm going to get it. And I want them moving out in front of me, and I want them to have the persistence to stay on track. We're going to do short tracks. We're not trying to challenge the puppy. We're just trying to evaluate what instincts and what temperament has come pre-installed in each puppy. Test that is very important for really all categories is putting the dog or the puppy in front of large quadrupeds, large mammals. So cattle, or hogs in a pen where the puppy's safe. I want to see how that puppy reacts around large quadrupeds like cattle or hogs. I want to put the litter down in front of cattle, and I want those dogs that have the confidence. I would like their hackles to go up. I would like them to see these large mammals and have the confidence to take 3 steps towards them and approach these cattle. So that's what I'm looking for in that test. So these 3 tests will yield the best hunting dogs in my experience. Here's a puppy that, to use as an example, that is knocking the 3 tests out of the park, and I believe is going to be a solid hunting dog for someone. Her puppy name is Squirrel. Her parents are Bear, who's proven across 5 categories, Angel, who's proven across 4 categories, and they have yielded this pup that, for whatever reason, every test I put her on, she overperforms. She retrieves just eagerly over and over and over, brings the ball right back to me. What are we going to do now, boss? And when I see that in a puppy, I think, yes, that's the worker. That's the hunter I want. What are we going to do now, boss? okay, then you can see in the cattle, I put her in front of the cattle, it's not even a question that this puppy walks right up, nose right into this giant longhorn with huge horns, and of course it's behind a pen fence, but this is extreme confidence that's instinctive. This puppy hasn't been exposed to cattle before. That is the kind of confidence that you need for a cow dog, hog dog, and also to bay wounded game. Okay, a lot of these deer that are being tracked are going to be alive. Okay, so it's not enough just to find them. They may just keep running. You need a dog that's going to stop them and bark at them and hold them till you can take that final shot and dispatch that deer. So this is a very important test. Tracking, very commonly used in organ drag. In this case with squirrel, we're doing a heart drag. I mean, this dog, it just knocks her track out of the park. Just head down, up, air scent, ground scent. I'm going to do this. What are we going to do now, boss? I want to go get that heart. What are we going to go out? What are we going to hunt next? What are we going to do next? Let me give you an example about the wrong prospect, okay? Dogs that won't retrieve are not good prospects for bird hunting, okay? If you're trying to get a dog to teach them to retrieve and it's just too spooky, won't hold stuff in its mouth, just doesn't care for it, whatever, not that eager to please, just kind of in his own world, that's not going to work for bird hunting, okay? Let me give you another example. If a dog doesn't have confidence around large mammals and is scared of cattle and hogs and deer, they're not going to make a good tracking dog. They're going to have to approach these deer and it's going to be dangerous. And they're not only have to approach it, they got to be smart about it. They got to be quick. They got to be fast. They got all these other things that you got to worry about. If you start with not outgoing and timid, that's a bad place to start. Now, I will say this: I've seen timid dogs that when that spark lights, they'll be go get them on cattle and stuff in that red zone. But what I need for working cattle, baying deer, and hunting hogs is I need dogs that are smart. I don't need just that red zone. I'm looking for dogs that are confident and smart and perform across these three categories of testing. Now, let me talk about the most popular category, which is tracking. And I think this is critically important, and I see this a lot in Lacey dogs, and I'm sure it's the case in a lot of other breeds of dogs. Okay, timid dogs that are waiting for you to guide them are not good for tracking. I need dogs that are self-motivated, that are going to move out in front and not constantly be looking back to me for help and not constantly wrapping around. Okay, it's okay to do a circle to catch scent, but dogs that don't have confidence and are constantly coming back and wrapping the leash around my leg, those don't make good tracking prospects for me. Okay, the second thing, I gotta have dogs for me that use air scent and ground scent. And I've seen plenty of dogs that were probably great cow dogs or hog dogs that just run around with that nose in the air trying to catch that wind. Well, the problem with that is sometimes you've got to go to the ground to decode a track. Okay, you can't just always wind the end, because these deer and animals, they run, they turn, they backtrack, they go miles, and every foot that they go out further, it makes it exponentially broader the area that they could be in. Okay, so just air scent is not going to get it. Air scent and prey drive and red zone prey drive, again, is not going to get it done. I need to see that puppy go for air scent and ground scent, and I'll need them to stick with it, and I need them to move out in front of me and away from me. Okay, you can see this puppy squirrel just knocks it out of the park, and all three tests, all categories, this dog will hunt.